Jason
How does
Garrett?
Bosa's injury impact the season for the Niners? They're undefeated. They have an easy schedule. I don't know if they were thinking that they might be Super Bowl contenders this year, but if the defense was elite, they'd be contenders. Now, I don't know. Like, what have you adjusted your expectations?
Well, not really, because I always expect them to be like a 10, maybe 11 win team, get in the playoffs and get exit in the first round, maybe the second round. But given the way it's looking, I just think how I see it, and not in terms of what the finish point, the finish line is going to look like for the 49ers, because they're definitely not, they were never going to or even winning the Super Bowl to me, even with like the way everything was looking on the up and up. I just think what's actually changes is, say Micah Williams, Bryce Huff, they're struggling to step it up because now the offenses are going to pick on them with Bosa gone. You know, Saleh can't really adjust to that blanket coverage that he did in 2020 because he either doesn't have the players or people know that. How I think this impacts them is now, hey, offense, be the strength of the team that we expected you to be, because so far through 3 games, who the hell thought the defense was going to look this stout? I didn't think so. I thought it was going to be like Saleh said, hey, buckle up. And I think Saleh surprised too. Like, I don't think he fully on expected the defense to look this good. And now with Bosa out, you definitely have been taken down a peg. So now it's like, hey, offense, we need you to score some points. This 16-point nonsense of going back and forth, this is not going to cut it. We give us some breather, especially in the first month, the first few games without Bosa, so they can learn how to adjust, learn to see who's going to step up. We need some points to get some breathing room, because first of all, we're going to be doing a learning curve, and number two, we're probably never going to be able to shrink the hole even remotely with Bosa gone. So I think, to me, it's just offense. It's time for you to step up, and I think it works perfectly with Purdy coming back, with Demarcus Robinson. You're getting closer and closer to George Kittle, to Brandon Ayuk. Ricky Pearsall is looking like a freaking stud. I just think more pressure now is on the offense, and I think now it's just, hey, go back to our preseason expectations versus what's been going on the last 3 seasons. I mean, the last 3 weeks is for you guys to now step it up and carry the load.
I feel like this is gonna, if they make the playoffs, this could really affect them if they face good teams in the playoffs. The
Philly.
Eagles, the Packers. But right now, like on their schedule right now, how many games would you say they would have won with Bosa that they won't win? Like, I still think they'll beat the Jaguars. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll probably have a tough time against the Rams and the Bucks without Bosa. Those are 3 games. But the Falcons should still be a win. The Texans suck. The Giants suck. The Cardinals, they just beat them. The Panthers suck. The Browns have no offense. The Titans suck. The Colts, maybe the Colts beat them because Bosa isn't there. But I mean, the Bears, we'll see, and the Seahawks, we'll see. I mean, they did need Bosa to beat the Seahawks week 1. So down the stretch, it could be tough without Bosa. And then in the playoffs, it could be tough without Bosa.
That Browns one's a sneaky one too, because they just beat the Packers. Micah Parsons, that front, like, if the Browns suck in the skill positions, they are great in the trenches on both sides, especially defensively, obviously. But
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't hear much of Micah Parsons or any of their pass rushers do much of a takeover game, and that's with the statue at quarterback and Joe Flacco. I think that one's going to hurt a little bit, but maybe the blanket coverage the secondary will be able to hold up, and the linebackers will make up for that. Yeah, I just think I could see probably an extra loss or 2 there, because it's just this is Nick Bosa. I think we just can't imagine how Bryce Huff and Micah Williams could potentially depreciate to decline because of his impact, and they probably don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe they look this good and maybe even better. But I just think, because Nick Bosa is such a great player, he's easily one of the top 5 defensive players in the league, and that now you do without him, it just uncorks everything. I mean, look, for the last 2 years, the Niners have, not even since D Ford's been gone, since 2019, they've struggled to have much of a pass rush without Bosa. They haven't had that. They haven't had the Robin to his Batman. So now who's going to be that? Is that Michael Williams? That's what they drafted him for, right? And then Bryce has to be that specialist. But I'm just not. I'm very skeptical. I would have to see it to believe it, to actually envision it, because he's just so an impactful player that I just feel like everything's just gonna really like have that nice little steep decline at first, and it's gonna be tough sledding.
If they miss the playoffs because they don't, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond emotionally to this injury, because I feel like they've had a ton of injuries this year, but they keep telling themselves like, well, no one's out for the year. They're all coming back. We're keeping our head above water. I mean, we're undefeated. This is going to be okay. And now you lost one of arguably your best player for the year. So last time this happened, they went 6-10. They know that. Like, how do they respond to this one? I just don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't
We'll
know. But
say
if
that.
they miss the playoffs, like, do you feel sorry for them? Do you give them a pass?
Uh, yes and no, because again, if they get to the playoffs without, I think if they get the playoffs without Bosa, it looks a little more impressive because it's like I expect you to get there with him. Without him, it's like, oh god. Because look, do they win that week 1 game against Seattle without Bosa? Probably not, because he's the one that clinched it and he's also the one that forced some plays. Like it just shows that now. I just want to see when you're in those close games, what's going to happen now. What's going to happen now when you're on defense in those close games? New Orleans, Seattle, because the talk of I've been having is, hey, the 2024 49ers do not win any of these 3 games. The 2025 49ers do. And largest part is because of the defense. And one of them is because of Bosa in the end, the clutch guy, your clutch gene. You put your Kobe or Jordan on in the end, your Curry on, you go for the bust, you go for the kill, the jugular. You don't you lose one of those guys now. You still have Bryce Huff who's there, but come on, Bryce Huff versus Nick Bosa. I understand he's been flashing, but it's like it's just I just think like, yeah, if it doesn't get to the playoff, that's what's really going to kill them. You're going to see a lack of a pass rush. It's going to be difficult. But if there's anyone I'm confident in getting around this, it's Saleh, because number one, we've seen it. We've seen him get around this and actually have a very fine defense in 2020. And given the way that the defense looked in the first 3 games, with a bunch of rookies and second-year players and first-time starters, he just has a way to really to speak to these guys, to put them in position, to scheme them up and put them in a way where they can flourish and just be talents and not think. So if there's any confidence anyone can have, it's just thank God they have Robert Saleh now. And like you said, like a moment ago, if Saleh thrives again with the defense without Bosa, you got to tell him like, hey, we'll give you a new contract and hire and give you more money to keep you, because please don't go. We can't do this without you.
Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, C-O-H-N, and download the app now. I think it's funny how coming into this season, the Niners were like, you know what? It could be rough. You know, we could take some lumps. We got a lot of young guys playing, and we don't know what to expect. But you know what? We got our core. And as long as we got our core, we'll be okay. But what's funny is, like 3 games into the season, the young guys are good. The young guys are kind of carrying the team, and the core is injured. Kittle, Bosa, Ayuk, Jennings, out. Now, Brock, out. Now, some of them are coming back, but it's interesting how your core of veterans can age quickly in the NFL, and you really don't want a core of 30-year-olds. You want guys who are in their early 20s, which the Niners have, thank goodness.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're forcing all these rookies and young players to play now this year, right? Because they realize like, yo, we sucked in 2022, 2023 draft, that we have no choice but to not only keep our picks. Remember, they kept all their picks from this year's draft. It's like they were so desperate for young bodies. What do they have? Like 5 rookies they're starting or utilizing on their defense. So they can fast forward and expedite to get that new core. I think because they kind of acknowledge what you just said is like, we have too many of these 28, 30 plus year olds who are up there in age and battered down, that we need these guys to start stepping up. And it's God, like I was thinking about it today and I tweeted about it, is early knee-jerk reaction is the 2025 draft class like already, if not getting close to being better than the 2024 draft class. Because remember this time last year, it was like, wow, they finally have a solid draft class. Dominic Pooney didn't expect him to start. Starting guard. Malik Mustafa starting to step up. Bernardo Green looks solid. And you had question marks. Obviously, Pearsall dealing with his injuries and unfortunate incident. Jacob Cowing's gone. Like this year now, we have 5 rookies on the defense. And now if Connor Colby becomes an actual decent starter this year, then that's 6. Wow. I mean, yeah, I think 2025 is looking better. And I think right now they have a reason to start feeling proud about themselves with how they're getting with these guys.
Kilo TW, I'm going to take some of these super chats out of order because I want to be topical, but I'm going to hit all of them. Kilo TW says, looks like Saleh won't be able to save Kyle Shanahan this season. Let's see what this Shanahan offense is really made of. Yeah, I mean, we keep talking about like what Saleh needs to do to make up for the loss of Bosa. There's only so much he can do. It won't be as good of a defense without him that it was with him. It should still be good, though, because of Saleh and Fred Warner and Deommodore Lenoir and Michael Williams and Bryce Huff. They still have good players. The offense, has a lot of good players too. A lot of highly paid players who are
Most of
coming
their
back
money,
from
yeah.
injury like nowish. They should be able to like pick up the slack. That was always supposed to be the idea this year, right? I mean, no one expected the defense to actually carry the team this year, right? Even though it did for the first 3 weeks. So,
Got
agreed,
your money
Kilo.
tied up there. Got your money
So
tied
the
up there. I
question
want to
now
see.
is,
I want to see results.